Bickley and Marotta mornings. Arizona sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Under Jonathan Gannon, the Cardinals have shown great resilience in the face of adversity, but can they handle prosperity? We will find out Sunday at State Farm Stadium, where the Cardinals and their ascending culture take on the Bears and their crumbling culture. This is a golden chance for the Cardinals to post a 3-game winning streak, a turnkey game that might open many doors down the road. There are so many rewards waiting for this team if they can prevail on Sunday. It's a chance for Kyler Murray to confirm he's a top 5 quarterback, a chance for this team to get above 500, and a delicious opportunity to reverse the vibe at State Farm Stadium, because you do not have to guess about the crowd dynamics on Sunday. I mean, you see the influx of Chicagoans every day in the Valley, where you can find Chicago-style pizza, Chicago-style hot dogs, even Chicago-style Italian beef. The Cubs are a tourism goldmine for the city of Mesa, and Bears fans are everywhere in our midst, as loyal to their football team as they are to sausage and onions, which means Sunday is another statement game from the Cardinals to a house full of infidels. This might be your home, but this isn't your house, and this isn't your city. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
In other words,
Chicago.
The Chicagoan is telling you Chicagoans to get the hell out.
Exactly. Well, look, I'm not a Bears fan. I left that behind.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm different that way. Now, if I see a guy on the street with the Bears hat on, I will go, Bears, because I know what's going to happen.
I know you almost wore your Rex Grossman jersey to work today. No,
I did not. But this is exactly the kind of game. And there have been games like that this year where you can really kind of bite into the problem, if you will. And this is the great opportunity for the Cardinals to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears are coming in, and the focus is on Caleb Williams, obviously, number 1 overall pick. This is, as we outlined earlier in the week, another battle of Kyler Murray against a fellow number 1 overall pick at quarterback. He's had several of those in his career. First time it's Caleb Williams. But Caleb Williams, through 7 games this year for the Bears, kind of been all over the place. He's had a bad statistical game in week 1, a game that they won against Tennessee, but he didn't put up any numbers. He's had big statistical games, throwing for 363 yards against Indianapolis, but also threw 2 picks and lost a fumble in that game. They lose that game. Then the Bears had a 3-game winning streak, which Caleb Williams really got efficient. 7 touchdown passes, 1 interception, 3 straight weeks, a quarterback rating of over 106. And then last week kind of came back down to earth again. So it is very much a week-to-week proposition with Caleb Williams. But, the Cardinals, they're coming in confident. And Jonathan Gannon kind of spouted some of that confidence earlier this week when he said this.
I think our team knows, if we play good, clean football, we can beat anybody. You know what I mean? That's the attitude that they take. But the challenge is you win Sunday today. You win Sunday on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's what our guys focused on right now. They're in meetings right now, and then it's going to be in the practice field today.
Yeah, they do not have the margin of error to be sloppy with the football. We know that, but I believe in what Jonathan Gannon just said right there. The Cardinals, with all of their deficiencies and their marginalized position groups all over the field, they've proved that they can beat anybody, but they have to play their brand of football to do it.
Yeah, listen, Caleb Williams, this will give you an idea of how pitiful the Bears' history at quarterback happens to be. 1 more touchdown pass from Caleb Williams, he will tie the rookie record for most touchdown passes in the season. Ha!
And that would be 10, by the way. Who holds that record?
I don't know. I read it. I don't know who holds the record, to be honest with you. Maybe Jim McMahon?
Bob Avellini? Yeah, the quarterback position has not been a...
Yeah.
There's no wing in the Bears Hall of Fame for quarterbacks.
Here's the thing about the Bears' history, too. They have been so awful. It's led to this dynamic where you talked about 1985. the city of Chicago has been trapped in 1985 quite literally for 40 years. You go to Chicago, you turn on the most popular rock and roll station, you will hear ZZ Top, you will hear Bad Company, you will hear a playlist from 1985. It was that rare. It was that enjoyable. When I talk about cities that have forever triumphs, like we did with the World Series against the Yankees, like Philly did with their Super Bowl over the Patriots, that 85 Bears Super Bowl in that season was it. It's been feeding that city for 40 years.
That's the entire joke of the Bears super fans on SNL that people in Chicago thought was a tribute.
Yes.
Not a satire.
Not a satire. That's exactly right. It's exactly right.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jarrett. Saturday Night Live hasn't been funny since 75.
Those sketches took place in the late 80s and early 90s, not in 1985.
No.
That is true.
They were fans that were still hung up on it.
Yeah.
That is true. Jonathan Gannon's counterpart, Matthew Eberflus, certainly getting criticism this week after the way that game unfolded in Washington last Sunday, but here he is commenting on the Cardinals as an opponent.
Yeah, I've said it before. Every week in the NFL is the week, and this is the week this week. And we're at Arizona, very good football team. They've won a couple games close at the end, and executed well, run the ball really well. I mean, Connor and that offensive line does a great job. The ability for the quarterback to run as well. That's going to be a big thing for our defense, and they've done a good job on their defense has done a good job of really mixing things up and creating some confusion for a lot of offenses. So it's a very unique defensive style. But, again, we're going to focus on those guys.
Unlike Jim Harbaugh, Matthew Eberflus actually mentioned a Cardinal by name. Got Connor in there. But the quarterback being able to run the ball, this game might come down to that because you got two guys that are very good at it, in Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams. And that is something that the Cardinals defense is going to have to deal with now. They've been not productive in putting a pass rush on, but in the last 3 games, Williams has run for 34, 56, and 47 yards. Hasn't scored, but the ability to scramble, the ability to make plays with his legs, that can demoralize a defense, and a defense that has been just awful on third downs.
Man.
I think Kyler Murray's got to have more rushing yards than Caleb Williams, and if you hold the Bears to under 50%, and third downs, you got a great chance to win this game.
Yeah. Once again, Kyler Murray is going to have to be the best quarterback on the field. I said that about the game against Miami and Tua, and for most of the first quarter, he was not, but he was at the end of the game. So his performance endured, and that's going to have to be the story here again. I would love to see this team. They've blown out the Rams and they've nipped the Chargers at the gun. So you're starting to build some good vibage in that building. Sunday can go a long way.
Can I bring up one more point from that Dolphins game that just occurred to me as I was watching replays?
Yeah.
The Tua condition, and I'm talking about the concussions, one of the most pivotal plays was the safety. You would agree?
I would agree.
They won by 2. That's a 2-point swing.
Yes.
If Tua was not as affected by what he's dealt with concussion-wise, I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that try to pick that ball up, make a play with their legs, find some room, and throw it out of bounds.
I think you're right.
And Tua...
That's a good point.
Tua has it now ingrained. My back's turned to the defense. I'm batting that thing out of the end zone. I'll take the penalty. We'll take the 2 points, and we'll live to fight another day.
There was a play early in the game when the ball was stripped from him, and he didn't immediately jump on it. He waited for a teammate to do it. Yeah, it's great. It's a good point. It's a good call.
So the Cardinals did capitalize on Tua's condition. I mean, they didn't make it difficult on him, but didn't sack him, but except for the one strip.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.